Cliff the Rocket Man here, video 18. Here a while back I did a video on how to paint a font, Coleman font. I thought I would show you my prep work for one. What I've got here is two 46 220 fonts. This is as you can see, this one is beat up. So I bought another lantern, and this one's another lantern with a nice straight tank. So anyway, and here I'll tell you how I did it. First I start on the bottom. This one's pretty rusty, so I hit it with 100 grit sandpaper to knock the rust off, and then I went back with 320 and just kind of smoothed it out. As you can see, the rust is right there over the Coleman emblem, but nothing I can do about that. And then I go to the sides. Now this is a nice brass tank with a steel bottom in it. I kind of like that. This will be my first brass one, but it had the same decal as this one on it. So what I did is I sanded that decal off with 320, and then what I do is I start hitting these spots where the paint is chipped off. I don't worry so much about up in here because it's going to be underneath the collar, but outside the collar I always tend to scratch them a little bit when I assemble them. So this isn't a restore job. This is just one I wanted to clean up and take camping, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. You go camping, this is going to get chipped up anyway. So but anyway, I went over it with 320, and you notice if you look real close, you can see how I've kind of taken my finger, and a finger on a car when you're sanding is a no-no, but I've kind of feathered that out. Especially the paint likes to chip right along the bottom here and along this ridge there. But what I've done is tried to smooth my paint out a little bit with 320. And that, if you can feel it, you're going to be able to see it in your paint job. So anyway, that kind of gives you an idea of how much to do, how much work you want to do to them. And of course work down in here, and around my pump. So and then I go to a 600 and hit it again, and this feels like I could use just a little bit more work on it, because like I say, if you run your finger across it and you can feel it, you're going to see it. So this needs just a little bit more work. And then what I'll do, I think I'll just stop right there for a minute and show you the next step, my prep work and primer. That'll be another video, and then the last video would be a paint. And now I've done a video on painting. I'll just show you the end product. How about that? We'll keep it at 3. How about that? Anyway, so there's step 1 of my a paint job on a old Coleman font. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, some people like to strip the paint off, and you can do that too. It'll save you a lot of sanding, but some old boy told me a long time ago, says old paint makes the best primer. So if it's in good shape, believe it or not, that paint is 86 years old. I'd say that paint's really good. I think that's lacquer, but don't quote me on that. So anyway, that's some pretty good lacquer if that's what it is. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Cliff out. Okay, Cliff back here. We've got it primered now. I just 2 good thick coats of primer. You can see I've masked it off. I didn't primer the bottom. There's just a little bit of rust right there. I don't And that adds another step to it. I'm just going to paint it just like that. And you can see my bare spots there. As long as there's not too many, the paint doesn't have any problems. Shouldn't have any problem sticking to that. One thing I need to share with you is you see the little teeny holes right there. When you mask, you want to not go past those holes with your masking, especially if you're primering it. If you're not going to primer it, then it's okay, but you'll have a, when you put your pump in, you'll have a little primer strip below your collar. Believe me, I've done it, but anyway, that's just a sample one. So anyway, I'm going to paint the bottom, let it dry, and then I'll go, as soon as that's dry, I don't know, maybe later on this afternoon, I think it'll be dry. We'll just have to play that by ear. And then I'm just going to go ahead and shoot the rest of it. Now I've already got a video on how to paint these, how I paint them anyway. So I'm not going to show the painting process. I'll show you the finished product. How about that? Anyway, that's all I've got for now. Till later. Cliff out. Cliff here again. Video number 3 or part 3. Okay, my font is painted, and I need to back up for just a second. Going back to prep after I primered it, I need to touch bases on that because that's really the most important part of it. Yeah. Okay, so after I primered it, I sanded it down with 1000 grit, paying close attention to where my paint, the original paint, the bare spot, and the primer all kind of go together. And what I did was actually try to feather that out. I sanded the whole thing, but to get a real good finish, I actually feathered a little bit with 1000 grit. I wet sanded it, you don't have to, but anyway, and there it is painted. It's only a couple hours old, so I'm not going to not show you too much of it, but there it is, it's done. You can see a little bit of let's see, chipping up here on the top, but that's underneath the collar, so we don't care about that. So, and then my other one here, I just did 2 today. This is this is a dual fuel. I changed color on. So anyway, there you go, and of course matching caps to go with them. So next is a couple decals, put them back together, and let them sit for a few days. I usually let them sit at least 3 before I put any fuel in them, otherwise it could take your paint off. But anyway, there you go. Cliff out.